You can absolutely make amazing YouTube videos with only your cell phone. However, today let's talk about all the gear that I've gathered after the last year of running a YouTube channel. What's in my camera bag? Spring of 2018. What's up everyone, I'm the Everyday Dad. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Now I do want to thank the folks over at Brevitē camera bags for shipping this over to me. They wanted me to check this out and review it over the last couple of weeks or so. I figured what's the best way to show that than how it holds my camera gear. Now I do want to say up front that they're not paying me for this video, they just sent me the camera bag to check out. Let's crack it open. So first up in the top pouch here, we've got my GoPro Hero 6 Black. Now I only really use the GoPro when I'm mountain biking or I'm riding on my motorcycle. It basically lives inside of my gimbal, which is a FEAT G5. I'm not sure that I'm gonna keep this. I'm considering going back to a Sony FDR-X3000, my favorite action camera of all time. And GoPro and I have kind of been, on the outs recently. So I also keep the bracket for my field monitor and the battery in this top block. And we'll talk about those things in a minute because we're, obviously using them to film. So in the top compartment, now this is where I would keep just like regular stuff, but for the purpose of the video, I have some extra camera stuff in here. I have this Manfrotto Pixie tripod. Longtime viewers will know that I have a budget bendy tripod that I've been using. I don't like bending it when I just want to use like a regular tripod, so I got this thing just to be my quick like run and gun tripod, and I really like it. I like that you can easily move it around. This tripod is great. Also, the only gimbal that I always have on me is the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. We'll talk about my mobile video platform here in a second, but this is a big piece of it. I never travel anywhere without this because I love stabilized footage. You guys know I love stable footage, and the best way for me to get stable footage is having something on me all the time. In this side compartment is the other half of my mobile filmmaking platform, which is the Samsung Galaxy S9. I don't use this as a cell phone anymore. I've moved back to my iPhone. I just prefer the iOS ecosystem for daily use. I still think this has one of the best cameras on the market today, and I mean regular cameras too. It's fantastic, so I always have it with me. It pairs very well with my DJI Osmo Mobile 2, but I just got the June Smooth 4 in yesterday, and we'll expect a video on that on Monday, and we'll see which one will end up being in my bag all the time. And this little piece too, it's a cell phone holder when I want to hold my cell phone with the Pixie. On the side here, now something I do like about this Brevitē rucksack, well, there's a lot of stuff that I like about the Brevitē rucksack, but what I like on the side here, it's got a tripod holder. This is my cheapo Amazon Basic tripod. I mentioned this in the $75 cheapest YouTube studio video. I've actually been using this thing for almost a year now. It is beaten up. You can see there's missing pieces. I'm getting ready to upgrade my travel tripod to a Manfrotto B Free, but this thing for $16, I think it was, this thing has been everywhere with me, and it is an absolute tank. That is it for the outside. Something else, if you do have bigger tripods, here on the bottom, there are straps to connect a bigger tripod. It actually works with my huge studio tripod that weighs like 20 or 30 pounds. In the outside flap, I've got my ND filter for my Sigma lens. We'll talk about here a little more in a second. You never want to go anywhere without an ND filter, especially if you do a lot of outside filming, and this one's been pretty great. So this is a variable ND filter, so you can see it changes the amount of light that it lets through as you turn it. I like carrying just one instead of a whole bunch, especially if you've got a fast prime lens like I do. You want to shoot it as open as possible to get that. Like, you see how blurry the background is? You got to shoot wide open for that, and that's just the way to do it. Okay, next up, something you cannot live without, and that's batteries. When you run a YouTube channel, you'll find out that batteries are life. So I always carry 2 extra batteries for my A6300, these little guys. The A6300 gets a pretty bad rap for battery life, but I really don't have a problem with its battery life. I also carry extra batteries for my Sony RX100 Mark V, and these will also work with the Sony FDR-X3000 that I'm planning on re-getting. I also carry an extra GoPro battery, so I rarely run out of battery life, but I sometimes forget to recharge them, so I always have extras. And in the same vein as batteries, you can never have too much memory. So I always carry around extra storage with me too, because there's nothing that drives me more crazy than filming a YouTube video, going out somewhere, hiking or mountain biking an hour somewhere, and then I hit the record button and it goes, memory card full. So I always carry extra memory cards. And then I just carry some extra things. So this is the USB-C adapter for my drone. I always carry one of each so I can either fly my drone with my iPhone or with my Samsung. I keep an extra ball head in the bag and then an extra GoPro mount, because you never know what you need to mount. And something I don't have in here right now that I usually carry are a bunch of zip ties, because you just never know when you just gotta zip tie something to something else. Okay, now for the main event. Well, now for kind of the main event. This part is a little empty because obviously the main cameras are filming right now. So we'll talk about my drone. Longtime viewers of the channel will not be surprised by this, but the drone that I take with me everywhere is the DJI Mavic Air. I currently think it's the best drone on the market. That might cause some tension because I know people love the Phantom line, they love the Mavic Pro. For me, it fits in this little thing. This is the perfect drone for my YouTube channel. I love the Mavic Air. It does 4K 30 frames per second. It does 2.7K at 60 frames per second. It does 1080p at 120 frames per second, making this an any angled slow motion camera. It's amazing. I also, in the same vein that I mentioned earlier, always have extra batteries. So here are 2 extra batteries for the Mavic Air. I've got my Mavic Air controller, which is pretty nice. I lost a set of these thumb screws, leaving them out. To get it to fit in the bag, I have to take the thumb screws out now. So let's talk cameras and let's talk lenses. So I carry 2 lenses on me at all times. I've got the kit lens that came with my Sony A6300. It's a 16 to 50 steady shot lens, which is pretty awesome. It's got built-in stabilization. I carry this when I want to get a zoom or something like that. Hold on, let's dismantle some of this so you can see the rest. This is my main camera setup. I have the Sony A6300 hooked up to a Sigma 16mm lens. I use the Rode wireless filmmaker set to do my audio outside. I used to use a Rode shotgun microphone, but I don't like that you have to be standing right in front of the camera for it to work. If you want to be behind the camera, you want to be somewhere else, you don't get as much use. So I like having this because wherever I'm at, look, now we'll walk to another room. We're in another room right now and you still got the audio. Wherever I'm at, the audio is good, and that's why I use this thing. I've got the Andyscene 4K field monitor. It just came in yesterday. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. It seems pretty fragile to me. I'm using it today just to kind of put it through its paces. That is my camera setup. This is just a cheapo Manfrotto tripod. I do not recommend this tripod. I don't remember what it is, but it's the one with this handle. Do not buy that tripod, it's terrible. And then for my B camera, I use the Sony RX100 Mark V. Now this is an awesome little portable camera. It basically does everything the A6300 does, but in a way smaller package. The problem is it doesn't have an audio in, it overheats if you shoot in 4K, the battery life is awful. And this is coming from a guy that uses the A6300 as his primary camera. The battery life on this is terrible. I only really have this because it does 240 frames per second at 1080p, and I've really started leaning on slow motion a lot for like product B-roll. So I'm not yet totally sold on this thing, but it has found a way into my camera bag. I do like having a B camera. Well, hey, that is my camera gear of spring 2018. If you want to see any specific videos or you have any questions about any of this gear, leave a comment below and we can start working on it. Thanks for watching.